Alright, hello! Welcome back to the channel. My name is Cam, and today I will be showing you the top 5 character builds currently in Fallout 76. If you're a fan of Fallout 76 or Fallout content, I'm focusing my channel primarily on Fallout. And if you enjoy my content or want more, please consider subscribing. So let's not waste any more time, kick back, relax, and open up an ice cold Nuka-Cola. First up, I'd like to go ahead and apologize to anyone that came here hoping that this was a build video. This video is simply to help players pick and choose which build they would like to use out of the top 5 that are currently most popularized in the game. Sadly, I won't be able to go in depth with each and every perk card used or showing you how to make the build, but there are already so many great videos out there already. As well, I'm still learning how to make my own build. So once I'm happy with my own build, I'll have that video ready to go for you all, but unfortunately, like I said, I'm still working on that video right now. However, I'm going to be going over each of the 5 builds that I have. I'll be discussing the builds, I have pros and cons for each build, and I'll be giving you my opinions on the best weapons and armor that you should be using to maximize each build. I had a friend been asking me for a while now about what build to use, and I figured I would just make a video to help him out, as well as anyone else looking to make a new character, trying out a new build, or if there's any new players coming into the game, hopefully they can see this video and get an idea in mind for a build that they would like to work towards and achieve. So Devo, if you're watching this video, this one's for you, bud. The Bloodied Build is hands down the most popular build in Fallout 76, and for good reason. In my opinion, the Bloodied Build resembles an almost glass cannon feel to them. You are at the max output for damage, but if you get hit, and if the hit connects depending on your armor, you could be one hit in certain scenarios. Please keep in mind there are a couple perks that you can equip to reduce that. Serendipity is an absolute staple, I feel, on all Bloodied builds. You also have Ricochet, reducing enemy bullet damage. The great thing about Bloodied builds is the creative freedom and control you are allowed to have. As far as weapons, you're mainly looking for a legendary role of Bloodied. Any other legendary role is just icing on the cake. The most common weapon that I've seen in stealth Bloodied builds is the Fixer. The Fixer is always going to be your best friend, and I almost feel like the Fixer was basically made for any and all stealth builds or builds that incorporate stealth, because the Fixer is just so good. If you can't find a Fixer, handmaids are always a good start. Just slap a suppressor on that baby. Moving on to the armor, when running a Bloodied build, you are going to want to be looking for any unyielding gear. Unyielding gear provides a +3 bonus to any and all stats when below a certain amount of health, and because Bloodied builds are all about being low health, for the high risk high reward factor, the two go hand in hand and work very well together. I started the game as a Bloodied and kept that build for a while, but around whenever Wastelanders came out, I was feeling a little burnt out from Bloodied, and I switched over to my new build, the Junkies. Lastly, before I forget, you have to have the mutation adrenal reaction for your Bloodied build to really pop. That is what gives you the main Bloodied effect. In second place, we have the Junkies build. The Junkies build is perfect for those that still want to do a lot of damage while also maintaining high health. Like I said previously, I am currently using the Junkies build, and going from no health to full health really makes a difference. I will admit I've seen a lot of hate and pushback from the Junkies build because, just like the name suggests, you need to be addicted to at least 5 different chems to get the most damage possible. Any more than 5 addictions is negatively affecting your character, and less than 5 won't grant you the full 10% damage bonus that you achieve with each addiction. Also, because we are addicted, our stats usually need help, and that is when all of our chems and drugs come into play. Personally, I am a fan of Psycho Buff, however, Psychotats are more beneficial. Psycho Buff is my go-to chem for any time I'm running an event or anytime I need to get the max amount of damage possible. Psycho Buff is my go-to chem anytime I'm running an event or if I need to get my max damage output possible. Please note that if you are switching or already a Junkies, to not take more than 1 chem at a time. If you do, the newest chem will override the previous chem and negate the effects. The cool thing about Junkies is, just like Bloodied, it gives the players a lot of freedom to pick and choose which weapon they would like to use. As long as your weapon has the Junkies legendary role, you're all set to go. From what I've seen, Demolition Expert being maxed out to grant you an extra 60% to explosives, and getting yourself an explosive handmade, or if you're able to get an explosive fixer, you'd be looking pretty good with a high damage output. Please do not forget about maxing out Commando or Rifleman as well for your automatic or non-automatic rifles. To finish up with Junkies, the best armor you would want, in my opinion, would be Overeaters. Why Overeaters instead of Vanguard? Simple. Vanguard gets worse the more damage you take. At full health, you are given a +35 damage resistance. Once you get shot or hit once, you are already losing your tanking abilities. That is why I recommend Overeaters. As long as your food and thirst are full, you will be granted a 6% bonus to damage resistance. No matter what, I do not care, percentage boosts are always superior to a flat number boost. If able, getting food, drinks, and chems reduced by 20% would be a great roll, or just craft the Chemist Backpack mod. Mutations on this build are all up to personal preference. Third on the list is the Stealth Commando or Rifleman build. This build relies heavily on automatic rifles or non-automatic rifles and constantly being in sneak to maneuver around enemies and constantly trigger the sneak attack bonus damage when able. With this build, you can again play either a Bloodied or Junkie style. Stealth Commandos or Riflemans use VATS very regularly, and with that being said, your best bet would be getting a fixer with any and all rolls pertaining to VATS, which would be your best bet. Please don't forget about better criticals and luck. This allows for VATS criticals to do 40% more damage. Mr. Sandman will also come in handy at night for giving you increased damage with a suppressor, but please do not think that Mr. Sandman is a staple. The easiest armor that I can recommend for this build is the Chinese stealth suit. It's a great starting place to hold you over until you have access to better armor. If you're lucky enough, you could always get some good rolls on a chameleon set, or you could even try your luck at getting good rolls on a covert scout set. The covert scout set is very good with the built-in shadow effect. Now the good thing about this build is that yes, you will be sneaking around and enemies are going to have a hard time detecting you, and because of that they will be less aggro towards you than they will towards other players. So hopefully you won't have to worry about survivability all that much, and you can stay afar and pick enemies off at your leisure. Mutations for this build are just like Junkies that are all up to personal preference. You could take Adrenal Reaction just in case too for extra damage at low health. Coming in at the 4th spot on this list is the Heavy Gunner build. The main requirement that you're going to need for this build is just a real nice set of power armor. Getting your hands on a vampire heavy weapon with a faster fire rate as a secondary role would be a perfect weapon for you and will be your bread and butter. You'll be able to stay in gunfights longer, sustain more hits, and use less stim packs as long as you're landing your shots. As far as power armor, your best bet is to get your hands on a full set of T65 power armor if you do not currently already. If you can't get T65 power armor, there's always XO1, Ultra Sight, or the new Hellcat power armor. If able, I would really try getting Overeater's legendary roll on all of your armor pieces for extra damage resistance. As well, maybe you could substitute one of the pieces for bolstering if you would like, but I would highly recommend sticking with a full set of Overeaters. Like I said previously, percentage is always better than a flat number. Maxing out your heavy gunner perks are the best way to max out any and all heavy weapon damage. In addition, taking Stabilize to help with accuracy is a plus. However, if you're lucky enough and able to get your hands on a Legacy Gatling Laser or a Gatling Plasma, I'd highly recommend throwing on Demolition Expert and maxing it out. Mutations are once again up to personal preferences. If rocking the power armor and you equip a jetpack and you notice that you don't really like the superhero landing pose that you get sometimes, I would highly recommend getting the Bird Bones mutation to eliminate that animation altogether. Lastly on my list, we have the Medic build. This is a very viable build, especially later in the game. For any of those players that want to be a team player, this is right up your alley. Not only will the Medic be responsible for their own healing and general well-being, but they will also be healing their teammates if they are on a team or a public team, of course. The Medic needs to be able to dish out the pain as well as heal it. Medics are better off with a ranged rifle to keep their health bar full. Any weapons that can heal allies on crits will be beneficial, or like I said with the Heavy Gunner build before, and the Vampire's weapon can give a ton of sustainability in a fight. If you can stay in the fight and survive, you can be the helping hand other players may need to stay alive. Tanks, Heavy Gunners, and DPS builds can all bear the brunt of the enemies, while the Medic picks and chooses the right moments to join the fight. It is up to the player to decide whether they want to wear power armor or not. I've seen both medics use and do not use power armor. It is just preference. Team Medic is a staple in most builds that I've seen, as well as bodyguards and field surgeon. This is to provide just a little bit more damage resistance as well as healing from stim packs. And just like the last 3 builds, the mutations are completely up to your own personal preference. Thank you all so much for watching to this part of the video. I apologize again that this wasn't an actual build video, but it was more so me talking about the builds already in the game. I really do hope that this helped all of you picking a new build or helped you in deciding which new build you would like to switch to. Like I said in the beginning of the video, once I have my own build video set up ready to go, I will gladly be putting it up for you all to enjoy. Again, I just wanted to thank you all so much for watching this video. I cannot thank you enough, and I cannot wait to see you on the next video. I love you all so much. Bye guys.